Now, the Australian cruise ship that became a battlefield and led the fleet on the D-Day landings that turned the tide of World War II. She hosted kings, lords, even Winston Churchill, and was captained by a pirate. Brian Seymour reports on the little Aussie ship that sailed into history.
HMAS Sydney, the Australia, the Canberra and the Bulolo.
Bulolo is a ship with a history. She took Churchill to Casablanca, and from her decks the King reviewed the invasion fleet 2 days before Normandy.
It's important that we commemorate the historical activities that took place, but also to tell some of these unique stories, untold stories.
It was the calm before the storm, 1938, and this little ship, with an unusual name, ferried passengers from Sydney to Brisbane and on to Papua New Guinea. The Bulolo, named after a small PNG town famous for its gold, with her unmistakable checkered funnel, was the toast of high society.
It was very special. White starch tablecloth, silver service, printed menus.
She was very well known in Sydney and the other major ports up and down the coast, and also around the islands.
Unknown to most, after just 8 voyages, she was recruited by the British Navy and converted into an armed merchant cruiser. In fact, the Bulolo, here in never-before-seen footage, was the command ship at the D-Day landings.
She was the first ship in on D-Day.
A crucial role in an event that changed the course of history.
Its role was to act as a command post, if you like, and also monitor and direct the landing at Gold Beach in particular.
Tim Smith is a marine archaeologist with more than 20 years' experience in the field, including Anzac Cove, the Middle East and Australian waters. He's been recognised by the UN.
Being a headquarters command ship, she was right in the thick of the action off the invasion beaches, and that put her in real risk.
As D-Day unfolded, she was fired on by this German battery at Longchamp, and again, hours later, from the air.
It was actually attacked by German Luftwaffe bombers, and a bomb exploded over the ship and killed 4 people on board.
After surviving, the Bulolo was refit and served out the war as a headquarters ship for the Allies in Southeast Asia, given this sword after the Japanese surrender in Singapore in 1945.
One of the swords of one of the Japanese officers who surrendered was presented to the Bulolo and its crew as a memento for its illustrious career during the war and also being present at that event.
Bill Burke is the curator of the Maritime Museum's Research Centre, compiling and safeguarding the Bulolo's history.
She was a well-suited ship and did remarkably well.
After that, she was back in service and became the passenger liner for voyages to Papua New Guinea. Even a fire that caught hold of Sydney Harbour could not sink her.
Bulolo was being towed to Kerosene Bay to be beached.
She survived that and was put back into service, but almost another close call.
This is one of my favourite photographs. Yes, I like that one.
The unsinkable Bulolo didn't have to wait too long before she finally met her match in Captain Brett Hilder, father of Beatrice and Tanya.
He regarded himself as captain under God. So while he was at sea, he was it. He was in charge.
My name is Roger Simpson. Welcome to This Is Your Life.
From 1964, Captain Hilder chartered her through sometimes unknown waters. They discovered reefs, caves and islands, capturing them all as sketches or watercolours.
Author, painter, sea captain, air pilot, navigation expert at sea and on the air.
The Bulolo sailed her final voyage in 1968, fittingly with Captain Hilder at the helm, a pair fearless and adventurous to the last. The ship that could not be sunk, months later was scrapped in Taiwan.